Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Rachel Cruze Show. So I recently had the opportunity to lead a personal finance course, aka FPU, Financial Peace University. And it was so fun. And it was just so fascinating to sit with a group of people and talk to them about their money and changing money habits and what it looks like to get on the baby steps. So I really had a front row seat to all the real life challenges that were keeping people from taking control of their money and building wealth. And I definitely noticed a few trends. So today I'm going to talk about the top 5 mistakes I was seeing people make with their money. And I'll show you how to avoid those same mistakes. Or if you've already made some of these choices, I'll help you get unstuck so that you can start making progress towards your financial goals. So if you're not familiar, Financial Peace University, or FPU, is a 9-lesson personal finance course that teaches you step-by-step how to prioritize and achieve your money goals. And as I was teaching this course, I've been able to witness some amazing progress when it comes to people and their money. But I also noticed some patterns, some mistakes, you can say. So let's talk through some of these. So the first common money mistake that I've seen when it comes to money is that people continue to invest in retirement while still trying to pay off debt. So if you're familiar with the baby steps, we teach to get a starter emergency fund of $1,000. And then baby step 2 is to pay off all of your debt, smallest amount to largest amount. And we say, look, you do everything here. You bring in extra income, you sell stuff, you cut your lifestyle, you pause retirement, you do anything and everything to pay off debt. And I understand that makes some people cringe because they're like, oh my gosh, if I have a 401k and a match and my employer's like basically giving me free money, why would I stop that to pay off debt? So here's what we have found, especially when it comes to paying off debt. The more focused you are, the more money you can bring to the table, and the faster you can get out of debt, the faster you can see progress. So when you don't have money leaving your life in payments, your paycheck comes in and then it goes back out to 2 credit cards and 2 car payments and student loans and a personal loan and all this stuff, it is hard to have margin and to build wealth because your income is your largest wealth building tool. So the faster you can get out of debt, the more your income is yours to go and do things like save or put money in retirement, all of that. So we have found if you pause retirement, pay off all of your debt, get an emergency fund in place, then press play and fund 15% of your income into retirement, you will be in a great place, okay? So the more focused you are on paying off debt, the faster you're going to see progress. So again, I know it makes you guys cringe, some of y'all, but I'm telling you, the more focused you can be towards paying off that debt, the better off you're gonna be. The second money mistake is not wanting to cut up the credit cards. Okay, so this came, I think, in lesson 1 or 2. And it was so funny because we were like, hey, you guys, we're gonna get out of debt. And in order to get out of debt, you gotta stop going into debt. So how do we eliminate some of this? And some of the easiest way to do it there on the spot is to get rid of your credit cards and to say, you know what? I'm not using credit cards anymore. I'm gonna use a debit card. I'm gonna use my own money to do life and not use the bank's money. And right then and there, people were like raising their hand via Zoom and you could like click on them and they would come over in front of the whole class. You could hear their voice and they would take scissors and like cut up their credit cards. And people were doing it. I mean, they were like, I want rid of them. I want rid of them. And then I did a poll because I was just curious. I was like, so, anonymously, how many of you guys still want to keep credit cards around? And there was close to a fourth of the class that was like, I'm not willing to give up my credit card. So I get it. Like intellectually, I understand how scary that is to say, oh my gosh, I've used this thing. Whether it's I'm playing the game of points or cashback or airline miles, or this is the thing that's gonna be my emergency fund. If something happens, this is what I'm gonna depend on. Can I just tell you, both of those options, they're not good. They're not good. And people are always like, Rachel, but listen, on this side, the whole game system of trying to say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna, outplay the credit cards and get all this free stuff. Do you know how much more money you spend technically when you spend on a credit card versus a debit card or your own cash? It's like 10 to 12 to 18% more, okay? So you're spending more subconsciously by trying to get all of these rewards versus just saving up and paying for things, right? So the whole game system, it's just not worth it. And then on the other side, the emergency fund, what's tough about that is say, yeah, you need a $600 to get some new tires for your car. Well, you go and get that, you have a car issue, and then you go and charge it. Now you have a debt issue, you have a money issue because you don't have that savings. So getting that $1,000 emergency fund and you being your emergency fund is so crucial. So if I were you guys, just get rid of them. Get rid of the credit cards. Live off your life. Live off your income and your money. It is so much more empowering. All right, before I share the rest of these money mistakes, I want to tell you about Telestrations. So Telestrations is a board game that is so much fun. So there's some board games that are fun, but they're kind of intense. You have to concentrate the whole time, and like everything is around the game. And those are fun. But the best games, I think, are where you can socialize and talk and enjoy and laugh, and it's just kind of stress-free, right? That is Telestrations. Telestrations, think about Pictionary and think about the old school game of telephone together. That is Telestrations. So your kids can play, your family members can play, your neighbors can play, your friends can play. It is so much fun. So make sure to buy Telestrations at Walmart or wherever you buy board games. All right, the third money mistake is people giving up on the budget before 90 days. So listen, if you have never done a budget before, hear me out. It is gonna take 3 months to get your budget to work. The first month of doing a budget, you guys, it's not gonna be perfect, okay? You're gonna realize, oh wow, I spent a lot more here. I don't spend a lot there. Or, oh gosh, am I in the red? Am I actually gonna have to cut some stuff? Am I gonna have to maybe get a side hustle to get ahead on all of this? Like, it is gonna bring to light where you are financially. And that's a good thing because we want you to see what is going on so you can make progress. That first month is tough. The second month, it's gonna get a little bit better. And by the third month, your budget will start working. So do not give up. I know it can feel defeating, but stick with it. All right, the fourth money mistake is fear around giving and generosity. So a lot of people feel like, oh my gosh, what do I do if I feel like I don't have a lot of margin? I mean, I barely have margin to, pay my bills and do all of this. How do you expect me to give? So giving is one of the things, you guys, that we talk about so much because it is that important. As you are living life with an open hand, what that speaks to who you are and your character is huge. Because here's the deal, money is a magnifying glass. It's gonna make you more of what you already are. So our goal for you is to become debt-free, to be building wealth, to be stress-free, to have margin, all of that. So as you start to have more money, more of who you are is exposed. And so being a person that says, hey, I'm going to be looking at the needs of others. I'm going to live life with an open hand and practice that sense of generosity. If you're doing that when your budget is tight, you're going to be able to do that when you have a lot. And some people think, well, if I just had more money, I would give. But let me just tell you, it is more of a heart issue than a math issue. So be giving a little until you can give a lot. I kind of want to take the stress off of you though, because I was hosting the Ramsey show with one of our Ramsey personalities, Ken Coleman. And we had a lady call the show and she was like, my husband is just not as excited about giving as I am. And as she was explaining it, this guy was not a bad guy, but she was like, I'm the one that's always bringing ideas to the table and all of this. And I understand that, I hear that. But it was so funny because Ken was like, that's kind of like me. Stacy, my wife, usually is the one that's like, oh, we should give to that or this or look at this. He was like, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm not against it, but I'm usually not the one that's like seeing stuff and jumping at the gun. So if that's you and giving isn't one of these things that you're like, oh yeah, I'm just constantly thinking about it all the time and what I can do, that's okay. That's okay. But just being in a rhythm and a practice and a habit of giving, I think is what's key. All right, finally, the fifth common mistake I saw when trying to work the 7 baby steps is doing it alone without your spouse if you are married. Okay, so this is a really tough one because this is one you technically can't control. You can't control your spouse to do what you want them to do, right? If you haven't learned that yet, then I just saved you some therapy because that is the truth. You can't make someone do something. You can't control them. But here's the deal. When it comes to your money, especially if you're a household working together, it is very difficult to win when you're trying to pay off debt and someone else keeps bringing debt in, right? Like it's just a hard cycle. So what I would say is be working more on your marriage and you guys coming together and having the same value system and learning to work together even before the money. Now, if they're on board and they're like, yeah, maybe I'll do this. Okay. Then people say, oh my gosh, this changed our marriage because we actually started working together and we started talking more and communicating more. And it actually does an incredible thing for your marriage. So that's amazing. But for some people, their spouse wants nothing to do with it. So at that point, it's a marriage issue. It's hey, we have different values. So what are we going to do? And I would say, talk to your spouse about your why, show them the plan even and say, hey, if we do this for 18 months, here's where we could be. Sometimes people just need a tactical plan. Sometimes you may need to go to marriage counseling together and say, gosh, this is probably, a symptom of other things in our marriage. Like we need to talk about this, right? So it could be that window of opportunity, which is a lot of hard work. And I understand that doesn't sound really fun, but to have a rich marriage, say, hey, we're going to be unified on the big topics of life, even though we're going to go at them differently, right? There's always a nerd and a free spirit. There's always a spender and saver. So you're still yourself in it. But being unified and working towards the same goals, that's where you're really gonna see progress. So my big takeaway of all of this is that no one should believe the lie that they're the only one who struggles with money. Because here's the deal, everyone does. At some level, at some point, it happens. And common money mistakes happen because they're easy to make, which is exactly why I'm so passionate about sharing resources that can help you reverse those money mistakes. And Financial Peace University is at the top of the list. It's been helping people from every financial background to build wealth for nearly 30 years. So no matter your age, no matter your level of knowledge around money, FPU is designed to help everyone in all walks of life. There's always hope, you guys, always hope. So if you're curious about FPU, go to RamseySolutions.com and send this video to a friend who may relate to some of these common money mistakes. And for you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.